everybody, I hope you're having a great day. I am Ali Muhammad, the admin of Crash Bandicoot fan page, as well as Crash Bandicoot Crystalposting. The page has been for 12 years at this point, and while it took long, but I'm really proud that the page is now really big. It's now one of the biggest Crash Bandicoot fan pages on Facebook. I started in 2012 when I saw that there is no Crash Bandicoot games coming. So I thought maybe I should do something as a way to spread positivity for the fans. It was kind of stupid, but I'm really happy that I made it, and I'm glad that I did. Then I made Crash Bandicoot Crystalposting because I didn't really find any Crash Bandicoot shitposting groups. So it was at first a little awkward for me because I'm posting with my meme because of family members at all. But over time I got over it and I don't really care. And I was able to meet a lot of great people, and honestly the group has also grown a lot. Well, not the biggest, but it's good enough for me. I'm really happy to meet, and I'm really honored to meet a lot of awesome people here. And honestly I decided to make a Q&A for video, and even the questions that I received are actually way more than I expected, so I'm really happy. And with that I'll answer every single question, starting with Guiliano Greco. What would your opinion be if Nintendo decided to make a Mario Kart crossover racing game with the Crash Bandicoot universe? Honestly, while I'm not really a fan of Mario games, I barely played any of them, but I think it would be really cool. So at the same time, there is a problem, Crash Team Racing and Mario Kart are two different games. Mario Kart is known for racing, simple racing and about fun. But Crash Team Racing is more about competitiveness and about fast pace. So it would be hard to make it for both. It's something like basically Street Fighter X Tekken or Tekken X Street Fighter. Well, there's another one game, but you get my point. I think it would be really, nevertheless, even if it happened, it would be cool. The characters that I want for every single one of them would be as follows. For Mario, Luigi, Daisy, Bowser, and maybe I don't know, Luigi, I guess. Now in terms of Crash Bandicoot, I want Crash, Coco, New Cortex, Tiny, and Tama. These are my favorite ones, or at least the mainline ones that I think should be important. And now question number 2 by Astra and Tia. Would you like the Crash Nitro Kart plot to be explored more in the future games, or should it stay as it is, unfinished with lots of fan theories? Well, to be fair, maybe a little explored, but the thing is, Crash Nitro Kart's plot had potential, but it was mostly just the same as Crash Team Racing. Crash Team Racing didn't have a plot actually, but Crash Nitro Kart was technically the same, but just bigger. The characters in Crash Nitro Kart are actually really unique, and the idea of having 2 different campaigns, one for Team Bandicoot and the other for Team Cortex, is really amazing and a really unique idea. But unfortunately both play the exact same without any difference. So maybe if they made something different, I want to expand upon it, not just the same, maybe reimagine. And I would like something actually very unique. And if they ever brought Team Bandicoot or Team Cortex campaigns, I would like them to do something different. For example, Team Bandicoot's campaign mode would be about racing, while Team Cortex campaign mode would be more about battle mode. I don't know, maybe I think this would be really different, but also unique and cool. That way adventure mode would feel much fresher, not just the same. And now for the next question, also by Astra and Tia. Do you think Spyro the Dragon should no longer appear in the Crash series, even as a small cameo in the future? Well, to tell you the truth, I think he should take a break. Don't get me wrong, Spyro is amazing, but his guest appearances has lost its charm in my opinion. Ever since Spyro Granted Trilogy happened, and Spyro doesn't appear in any game except for Crash Bandicoot once. At first it was really cool. Seeing Spyro and Crash in the same game as Crash Team Racing was really amazing. It achieved the long-lived dream of many others that wanted Crash and Spyro to be in the same racing game, and it was a much better crossover than Crash Bandicoot Purple and Spyro Orange, or Fusion, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, I was saying, at first it was really cool, but over time we haven't gotten a single Spyro game after Reignited Trilogy, and people started to feel that Spyro was more of a spin-off to Crash Bandicoot, like an Easter egg. Not only that, but it lost its charm. Like at this point, we expected it to happen always. Like nobody expected it in Crash Team Racing, so it was amazing. In Crash Bandicoot 4, everybody kind of knew and was expecting it, so it was cool. Crash Bandicoot on the Run, well, it was when people started to feel like this where Spyro belongs in a spin-off. But with Crash on the Run, people started to feel like this is where Spyro will always be as a spin-off for Crash Bandicoot. So it wasn't the same, but at the same time it was a mobile game, so people didn't care. But as for Crash Team Rumble, nobody was excited for Spyro, not just because the game wasn't well received by many, but it was also because people got tired of Spyro appearing as a cameo or guest character in Crash Bandicoot games. If I remember correctly, people were more excited for Ripto and Elora than Spyro himself. Like maybe the next games they should remove Spyro just once, or at least make a Spyro game first, that way it doesn't feel sour. Who knows, maybe they make a Spyro's Dragon game where Crash appears in it. This would be really cool actually. And with that, the next question, also by Astra and Tyr. Thanks for all these questions by the way, the more the merrier. Now, do you think Dr. Cortex is written poorly in the newer Crash games, or do you like the goofy flamboyant scientist as he is now? Honestly, are you kidding me? Like, no, Dr. Cortex has never been this good actually. Like, I like the more goofy flamboyant scientist he is now. Ever since Twin Sanity, and he's become more goofy and less evil or villainy, like, if you understand what I mean. Like, I don't know, this makes him more unique compared to other villains. You probably have seen a lot of fan arts where Cortex, Eggman, and Wily appear together. Like, they're great fan art, I'm not saying anything, but you can obviously tell that there is usually a big comparison between the three, because they're very similar. But ever since Dr. Cortex became more comic relief, and he became different from others, like, he has his own charm and his own taste. Like, he became the comic relief of the series, and not only that, but he also provided with lots of memes for the franchise. Like, you obviously have seen a lot of them, especially the Twin Sanity Cortex and Coco costume. Personally, while Clancy Brown was actually really great as Dr. Cortex, I'm not saying otherwise, but I like Lex Lang more. Like, he just makes a great Cortex in my opinion. And also I liked that Entropy is the more evil villain in the series. Like, he has his own charm in my opinion. Like, you know those side villains that are usually more evil than the main villains? Like Darth Sidious, for example, or Firelord Ozai. That's my point really. So that's why I like the modern Cortex more. Alright, next question by Daniel Alvarez. Do you like Twin Sanity? Well, I like it. It's a great game, but it's not my favorite in the series. Even during the PS2 games, this is not my favorite. And I'm gonna get hated for this, but Mind Over Mutant is the best Crash game on the PlayStation 2 ones. But Twin Sanity is not my favorite. Look, don't get me wrong, I love this game. It tried to do something different by making it open world, and the game's humor is what changed the series. Like, the series has been focusing more on humor than ever before. But the thing is, Crash Twin Sanity has lots of bugs and glitches that actually affect the game in my opinion. Like, some of them can be really bad. Granted that Crash Bandicoot 4 is hard, but at least it feels like a challenge. In Crash Twin Sanity, it feels like I'm losing because of the game itself. Who knows, I would love to see this game being made one day, but it's unlikely to happen. I really love this game, but it's really flawed. And I hope one day they fix it. Alright, next question by Josie Ismail. Who are your favorite voice actors for Crash, Coco, and Cortex? I think Brandon O'Brien was my favorite one. In terms of Crash, I mean. Like, I don't know, he didn't really do much, but this is what I always remember when I think of Crash. Jess Harnell was really great as well, but I always think of Crash as a character who doesn't make a sound, except for things like, wow! And in terms of Coco, Doulla there is no argument in this. She's really cute and she sounds really amazing as Coco. She did a wonderful job. And while she got replaced in Crash Bandicoot 4 and Crash Team Rumble because I heard she was working on the animatronics show, and the new voice actress is great, but let's be honest here, Doulla is Coco Bandicoot. Nobody can replace her no matter what. And in terms of Cortex, well, it's Lex Lang. There's no argument as well. He's doing a great job, and he's been holding the series ever since to Insanity. He's really wonderful, and his humor is really amazing. Clancy Brown was also great, but I like Clancy Brown more as Uka Uka. Alright, next question by Isa Abu Bakr. Do you think one day we'll have Crash to Insanity remake? To tell you the truth, no, I'm sorry. Well, the thing is, it's always with Crash Bandicoot 4, all previous games don't count, and they're either as their own timeline, which is a nice way of saying it's rebooted. But even then, let's be honest here. Remaking the old games is either unnecessary or requires heavy work. Like, for example, Crash Bandicoot The Rise of Cortex, there's really no need to remake this game, as it's not only recycling the Crash Bandicoot world content, but the series now is trying to be more story-driven, and Crash Bandicoot The Rise of Cortex didn't have a plot, didn't have much of a plot, so I don't think it's going to happen. Crash to Insanity, on the other hand, has a plot actually, and it's what made the series focus more on story, I mean. But the thing is, there's too much cut content that remaking it wouldn't really do the game justice, and they also need to remake Rise of Cortex as well. So it would be basically being remade, something like the Resident Evil 2 game. Maybe one day they could reimagine the game. This would be really cool. Like, maybe one day they can reimagine the game into something different. It would be really cool instead, actually. As for Crash of the Titans and Mind of a Mutant, Crash Mind of a Mutant, I like these games, but they don't really count as Crash games in my opinion. Would work well as different games instead of Crash games. So I'd love to see a Crash to Insanity remake, but it's unlikely to happen. Maybe a reimagining is more likely, but who knows. Alright, next question by Ali Hamza. Well, okay, Ali Hamza provided me with a lot of questions really, so it's gonna take some time, but I'll answer them all. How did you get into Crash? I got into Crash Bandicoot because of a game my dad brought to me. It was Crash Bash. While many hate it, but I honestly enjoyed it. I love it a lot, and it's a really great multiplayer. I used to play with my sister and sometimes my cousin with it. It's an amazing game. Later on, my father would bring me a disc of Crash Bandicoot Trilogy. It's a bootleg copy of the first three Crash games, or they are both on the same disc, but it's usually available in many third world countries, I think, like maybe Mexico and Egypt. You get the point. And it was really fun, but for some reason Crash Bandicoot 2 didn't work well. I don't know why, but it worked, and I was able to finish the trilogy on it. Great series. Crash Bandicoot was also what got me into being a completionist. Like, I enjoy finishing games 100% because of the Crash Bandicoot world. And later on, like months later, I got Crash Team Racing. This is what made me really love the series. Like, it's so fun, and the racing is so amazing. I spent months, maybe years, trying to figure out how to unlock nitrous oxide. But Crash Team Racing is what made me love the series, and also what got me into racing games. Now, next question. What was your first Crash game? Well, as I said, my first game is Crash Bash. It's a really fun multiplayer. While it does have its flaws, but it's honestly enjoyable. As a single player game, yeah, it's fun, but it can be hard. But as a multiplayer game, it's amazing. Like, I wish this game was remade, or at least ported. I'll pay it full price even if I have to. Now, next question. What Crash game is your favorite or you consider perfect? Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. This is not an argument really. Like, it has so much content, and if we're being honest here, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled expanded upon the series and the community. Like, we have seen lots of fan art or amazing characters like the Nitro Squad, Spyro, Nina, Megamix, like, not to mention the soundtrack and the online. I've never spent so much time playing an online game like this. And not only that, there's lots of stuff for single player. Like, while Crash Team Racing on the PlayStation 1 is amazing, but there's almost no reason to play the original game anymore, other than maybe check on it if you don't have a PlayStation and only a PC player, I mean. quick, and it also made Crash Nitro powered wars for many. Like Crash Nitro kart tracks are in the game, but also faster, much faster. So many avoid playing Crash Nitro kart anymore nowadays. And now next question. What's your opinion on the current state of the series? Honestly, I think the series has never been as good as it is today. Look, ignore Crash on the Run and Crash Team Rumble. They have their flaws, but they're enjoyable, and sure, one of them got shut down, the other one will probably be shut down eventually. But the series has never been this great. Like, think about it for a moment. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy popularized game remakes instead of remasters. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel heavily expanded upon the series, as I mentioned, and made a serious competition with Mario Kart for many. So that even Nintendo decided to bring back all tracks to compete with it. And Crash Bandicoot 4 is an amazing game that revives the series and shows that reboots can be amazing and better. Like, you can say what you want about some of the games, but you can't deny that the series has grown so much nowadays. Back then, while Crash can be considered niche by many compared to Mario and Sonic, but back during the PlayStation 2 games, all of the games were basically glitchy and broken, so now the series has never been this good as it is today. Now, next question. What's your opinion on the Activision-Microsoft merger and its effect on the series? Honestly, when I first heard of it, I was actually surprised, and I was hoping that maybe Activision would become a better company now, but I was also concerned about Crash Bandicoot being left out like Banjo-Kazooie. But we quickly learned that nothing's going to change, like things are going to be the same, I guess. Like, we just might not see Crash Bandicoot coming to PlayStation eventually, or maybe like it's going to be timed exclusive to Xbox for a year, something like Hi-Fi Rush. But I do hope it at least comes to PlayStation, especially day one. It would be a fool if they made it day one only for Xbox and PC, because Microsoft may say they hate exclusives, but we have seen how they treat games like Redfall and Starfield to be Xbox exclusive and cancel the PlayStation 5 versions. Well, granted that these games suck, but I think you understand my point. I do hope that at least the Crash Bandicoot franchise doesn't get affected or anything, and I do hope we get more Spyro games. Okay, next question. What Microsoft IP that isn't Spyro do you want to see crossover with Crash? Okay, that's a hard one, really. Tell you the truth, I didn't play much Microsoft games, but I'm guessing Banjo-Kazooie, of course. This would be really cool. I also think the Ori series would really work well for this. Like, I think it would be really amazing to see Crash and Ori in it. I know the art style would be really amazing. Well, I know it doesn't fit well, but I just want to see Crash in this art style. But of course, I think Banjo-Kazooie would be the one that works the best. Alright, next question. What other games are you a fan of? I love God of War so much, and I'm actually a moderator of God of War boy posting, and I think it's common knowledge that most, if not all of you, love Grand Theft Auto, and of course my favorite would be GTA San Andreas. Portal is also one of my favorite series. It's one of a first-person game. Even so, I have never played any game except the NES ones. I only read the manga, so I'm not sure if this counts. And of course, I can't forget Gravity Rush. I bought a Vita just for this game and I regret nothing, and you probably have figured already, I'm a massive PlayStation fanboy. So usually Sony exclusives are my thing, but that doesn't mean that I always love them. The Last of Us, for example, is amazing, but it's not Sony's best in my opinion. And Horizon Zero Dawn, while I enjoyed it, I don't remember the story much really. I don't know why. Maybe I played again with New Game Plus and I'll be able to focus on it more. Okay, next question. Other than Crash, what's your favorite platformer series? Okay, this can be a little hard for me. I think that would be Jak and Daxter. The Jak and Daxter series feels like a mix of Crash Bandicoot and Grand Theft Auto. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. I wish we had more games of it, but died with The Lost Frontier. Well, the Sonic series has its flaws, but I really enjoyed Sonic Heroes. Like, many people hate it, but I love Sonic Heroes like Adam Morse. I find it much more enjoyable than many games like Sonic Forces. Many people say that Sonic Heroes campaign is 4 campaigns that all play the same, but I honestly didn't feel like I was playing the same. Like, for example, Team Dark was basically the same campaign but a little longer and harder. Team Sonic was the same campaign as its the way it was supposed to be played, I guess. And Team Rose was basically my least favorite. It was the same but a little shorter and much easier. Team Chaotix was basically more objective based, so it was the most unique out of them all. And the final boss, Metal Sonic, was actually amazing. Also, Astro's Playroom, I just finished it, and it's a really wonderful platformer. Sure, it might be a tech demo, but it's really fun and worth checking out if you have a PlayStation 5. And I think everybody can agree that we all love Mario games, but I didn't play all of them, so as of the moment, the last one I played was Super Mario Bros. 3. I played a little bit of 64, but I never finished it. So I'm gonna say Super Mario Bros. 3 is my favorite in the Mario series as of the making of this video. Okay, next question. What other genres do you want the series to experiment with? This is gonna sound weird, but I would like to see a Crash Bandicoot basketball game. I don't want to be a simulator like the NBA series, but something more goofy like the Mario Sports series. And I don't want all sports to be milk. Like, if it got milk, I don't care. But I just want basketball. I don't know, I just find it unique. There's also a little bit cliched, but I also want an RPG Crash Bandicoot series. But I don't want it to be part of the main series, like maybe as a spin-off or something. There was a Crash to Insanity sequel called Cortex Chaos. From all I know, it was about Cortex trying to find his way after being abandoned by his team for working with Crash. Well, I want something like that, or you play as Cortex or different characters in general, not Crash Bandicoot himself. This would be great as an RPG game. Okay, next question. What's your favorite gameplay structure in Crash series? Like linear, like PlayStation 1 games, open world to Insanity, or beat 'em up, Crash of the Titans. I think I would go with the linear. Like, this just fits with the series well. And honestly, I'm getting tired of open world games after how we got so many of them in general, not related to Crash, but in general, like, to the point that they're just not fun anymore. It feels like a chore to play. I would love to see an open world Crash Bandicoot game one day, or even a beat 'em up game, but not being alienated from the series like the Titans games. But I'm going to have to stick with the linear one. This is my favorite of the series. Okay, next question. Who is your favorite Crash character? I think I'm obviously going to not say Crash Bandicoot, because let's be honest, he's our favorite. We all love the series about him. But I'm going to say that other than Crash, of course, I would say Nash. I don't know, there's something cute about him. He's a shark. He's a walking shark, so I just find him really adorable and cute. I wish we could see him in more games, so. Now, next question. Who is your least favorite Crash character? Like, I think it would be Willy Wonka Cheeks. I don't know, I barely remember anything about him, other than the obvious plot twist that he's the villain in Crash Tag Team Racing. And even then he was so lame, like, he's so forgettable, like, I can't remember. I think I'm not the only one, because he didn't appear in Crash Team Racing, and honestly, good riddance, not my favorite character. Okay, next question. What Crash game do you consider to be the worst? Crash Boom Bang, obviously. This game is so boring and so broken, and other than Coco, the characters look really ugly. But at least for some, they could like it because the Pinstripe and Tom are together. So good for you, I guess, but this game really sucks, and I burn it to hell. And I think I answered all of the questions Ali Hamza sent to me. I really appreciate that you send me this many questions, man. Keep it up. And I also appreciate the amount of memes that you post on Crystalposting. Keep up the good work, man. Okay, next question by Jake Inker. What inspires the Dad-Bot Crash page image? Well, this means a profile picture of the page? I don't know. I just found it in a page for cursed AI, and someone made Crash Bandicoot like this, so I like to decide to add as my profile picture for the page. I usually have one profile picture for the page per year. Like, I usually change it, and I'm thinking of changing it eventually soon. Sometimes I may add more than one picture for once, but I'm planning to change it eventually to something better. Okay, next question by Christian Cisneros. He says it in Spanish. Buenos días, aficionados del deporte. which translates to good morning sports fans. This is the first question that's not related to Crash Bandicoot for me. Well, not a question at all actually. And I think it came to me wrong, but okay. Good morning to you too, man. Or buenos dias. Okay, next question by Nicholas Wells. Out of these three, which villain do you like? Dr. Cortex, Dr. Entropy, the Elementals. Personally, I think Dr. Entropy is really great. I think he's more evil than Dr. Cortex. Like, you can say what you want about the Entropy boss fight in Crash 4, but I think the game made him more evil in comparison. Like I said, the side villain that's more evil than the main villain. Like, I really like him for that. Dr. Cortex is great, and I talked about him already. As for the Elementals, I feel like they wasted potential. Like, they could have worked well, but instead they feel like all they did was ate Crunch and Crash of Cortex, and we never saw what their powers really are. Okay, next question by Thomas Bertman. Why does the whole franchise seem harder now than some of us are adults, but we were able to breeze through the levels as kids? Well, personally, first of all, the modern games are actually a little harder than the previous ones. Like Crash Bandicoot 4 is designed to be really hard, but the Insane Trilogy, many people don't notice this, but the levels were tweaked a little to be harder, not just because of the Platinum relics in Crash 1 and 2, and more because Pop has 5 else bars instead of the usual 3. But they also made Crash heavier, like as heavy as Crash Bandicoot 1 at least. Because Crash Bandicoot 1, you probably didn't notice this because he was always heavy there. Crash Bandicoot 2, you probably obviously noticed it. The game is a lot harder now. As for War, the game was already easy, so you probably didn't even notice anything. And not to mention that I also blame modern games for something. Like, many games start off really slow, like Resident Evil 4, The Last of Us, God of War 2018, you name it. They not only start slow, but many games also have extra features that make the game easier, and you eventually get used to it that older games get harder. Like aim assist, for example, in games. So many more. Like NES games when I was a kid, I always found them really hard. But I'm sure it was easy for many back in the day. Okay, next and final question by Nick Montelongo. In Crash to Insanity, when Cortex disguised himself as Coco, did he have a spare outfit or did he steal the clothes of her? Okay, that's a kinky question. I'm gonna say he stole the clothes. Like, why on earth would he freeze her if he already have a spare parts for her? And from what I can see, he's having a good time with it, so probably experimenting with her clothes. Okay, that's... Okay, I guess that's all the questions. Like, so far, for the past few days, nobody has asked me anything. Okay, these are the last questions that I received so far. No one has asked me again after that. And surprised, I don't know what I was expecting. Well, the questions are great. I thought someone would ask me something personal, which I would have answered actually, but nevertheless, I'm really happy to see all these questions. Thank you guys for all the questions that I received. And special shout out to Ali Hamza and Astra and Tier for asking me more than once. And thank you guys for all the memes that you post and all the art. Like, I really appreciate all that you do, and this page and the group are what really make my day nowadays. And I'll see you guys eventually. Keep being awesome as usual. Thank you guys and goodbye.